Okay, so the aim for this text is what is causing polar ice caps to melt faster than expected. So you're going to make sure that as we read, you're highlighting information that explains reasons why sea level is rising. Um, and we're going to do the same thing we've been doing by pausing after paragraphs to make Google comments where we summarize key details and make connections to what we already know or draw conclusions, ask questions. All right. How worldwide sea level rise is driven by melting ice. Seas are now rising an average 3.2 millimeters per year globally and are predicted to climb a total of zero point 0.2 to 2 meters by 2100. Oh my God, it's so weird to say that date. Reno and Dutton say that the Arctic Greenland ice sheet poses the great risk for ocean levels because melting land ice is the main cause of rising seas. All right, so I'm going to highlight that. And most of Arctic's land ice is locked up in Greenland. All right, so I'm also going to highlight the Greenland ice sheet as it seems to be important. It keeps being mentioned. That's 2.96 million cubic kilometers of ice now covering land areas, and it's melting into the ocean. I'm gonna highlight that. If entire Greenland ice sheet thawed, Dutton says it would raise sea levels by an average of 7 meters. Wow. In addition to simply adding water to the ocean, thawing Arctic land ice can raise sea levels even more via a mechanism called thermal expansion. Oop, I'm gonna highlight that. Thermal expansion is a tendency of a substance to increase in volume when its temperature increases. So I'm also going to put my comment where I basically put that in my own words. Thermal expansion means more volume when melted ice, like H2O, or I'll say water, has more volume when it is liquid than when it is solid. So when ice melts, there is more liquid than there was ice. As Arctic land ice melts into the sea, there is more ocean water overall. I'm also going to highlight that. And thus more water to heat up and expand as the climate warms, which drives sea levels up even more. Wow, I'm going to highlight the whole thing. Ice in the Antarctic is also melting at a record-breaking rate, and the subsequent sea rises could have catastrophic consequences for cities around the world, according to two new studies. Their findings mean that predictions for global sea level rise may be too conservative, and coastal cities like Miami or Mumbai could be at greater risk of catastrophic flooding. I'm also going to highlight that ice in the Antarctic is also melting at a record-breaking rate. And I'm also going to make that connection to as a positive feedback loop. Because higher temperatures are causing more ice to melt, causing more water to be in the ocean and for sea levels to rise. Amplified system, no, not stable. Both polar regions, the Arctic and the Antarctic, play a role in sea level rise. Antarctica and Greenland are now losing ice mass 6 times faster than in the 1990s. Almost all of the ice loss from Antarctica and half of that from Greenland arose from warming oceans melting glaciers that flow from the ice caps. Okay, so almost all of the ice loss arose from warming oceans melting glaciers. This causes glacial flow to speed up. I'm gonna highlight that little part, dumping more icebergs into the ocean. The remainder of Greenland's ice losses are caused by hotter air temperatures that melt the surface of the ice sheet. I'm gonna highlight that little part. About a third of the total sea level rise now comes from Greenland and Antarctic ice loss. Just under half comes from the thermal expansion of warming ocean water, and a fifth from the other smaller glaciers.